To serve, protect, and support. That almost sounds like something you'd read on the side of a police car. However, it's just as applicable to your central nervous system. There are special cells in your CNS that do just that: serve, protect, and support other cells. Without these special cells, you'd have quite a lot of trouble with day-to-day activities like walking, speaking, or eating. Collectively, these cells are known as glial cells. But there are a lot of subtypes of glial cells we'll get into, and they all have slightly different functions. Your central and peripheral nervous systems depend on certain cells that are sort of the unsung heroes in the nervous system. These cells that form myelin, protect, support, and maintain equilibrium in your nervous system are called glial cells. They are also commonly known as neuroglia, and even more simply, glia. In more detailed terms, neuroglia are cells in your nervous system that are not neurons. Their role is to be the support team and cheerleaders for the neurons. The neuroglia form myelin, which wraps around axons to speed up electric impulse conduction, provide nutrients to your neurons, including oxygen, destroy pathogens, and provide a general support structure on which neurons can sit. In this lesson, we will focus on the neuroglia located in your central nervous system. This includes 4 large glial cells called macroglia, 3 of which we will get into detail during this lesson. These 4 cells include astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, ependymal cells, and radial glia. The star-shaped glial cells in the central nervous system are collectively known as astrocytes. Astro implies star, and cyte refers to cell. Hence we get astrocyte, a star-shaped cell. These glial cells are responsible for a lot of important things in the central nervous system. Most notably, they are part of the blood-brain barrier. Tiny little feet leave the astrocyte and help to encircle the vessels that make up the blood-brain barrier, which is a barrier that helps to prevent undesirable substances from entering the brain via blood vessels. In addition, astrocytes are responsible for provision of nutrients for neurons, structural support for nerve cells, release and absorption of ions and neurotransmitters for improved modulation of cell-to-cell communication between neurons, and for the repair of the nervous system, among many other functions. In addition to all of the things I mentioned, astrocytes also help oligodendrocytes perform their job as well. Oligodendrocytes are a type of glial cell in the central nervous system that creates myelin sheaths around the axons of neurons. Don't be confused about the fact that Schwann cells create myelin for neuronal axons in the peripheral nervous system. It is the oligodendrocytes that perform the same function for cells in the central nervous system. The creation of myelin allows for the formation of myelin sheaths around neuronal axons. This myelin sheath allows for action potentials to travel down the axon much more efficiently and quickly compared to unmyelinated axons. The last, but certainly not least, macroglial cell we will get into in this lesson are cells that line the spinal cord and ventricles in the brain and form a structure called the choroid plexus. We call these cells ependymal cells. These cells, as per the definition, will form the choroid plexus, which is a structure that makes cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid will then serve to have a protective role in the brain. In order to move the cerebrospinal fluid around the brain and spinal cord, ependymal cells also have little hairs, called cilia, that wave back and forth in the cerebrospinal fluid in order to help circulate it along. The other type of glial cell found in your central nervous system is known as microglia. While micro in microglia may imply that they are small, their importance is humongous. The microglia are essentially the macrophages of your brain and spinal cord. As a reminder, macrophages are cells that help to destroy pathogens and clean up damaged and dead cells and tissues. In addition to fighting off pathogens and cleaning up debris, Microglia also promote repair in the central nervous system and promote the inflammatory response in damaged or diseased tissue. As you can tell, despite their name, microglia have an important role to play as the resident macrophages of the central nervous system. The other major types of glial cells, the macroglia, are also important. Among the macroglia are ependymal cells, cells that line the spinal cord and ventricles in the brain and form a structure called the choroid plexus. The choroid plexus produces cerebrospinal fluid, which is critical for the protection of your brain against chemical and physical damage. Another type of glial cell in the central nervous system are oligodendrocytes, which create myelin sheaths around the axons of neurons. The myelin sheath helps your neurons conduct signals more quickly between one another and other cells. Finally, star-shaped glial cells in the central nervous system are collectively known as astrocytes. They are important in the formation of the blood-brain barrier, provision of nutrients for neurons, structural support for nerve cells, the release and absorption of ions and neurotransmitters for improved modulation of cell-to-cell communication between neurons, and the repair of the nervous system. All of these cells, the cells that form myelin, protect, support, and maintain equilibrium in your nervous system, among many other things, are known synonymously as glia, neuroglia, or glial cells.